Welcome to JasonWhiskyWise. Myself, Jason, today bringing you a whiskey review into the Glenmorangie Bacalta. Now, the Bacalta is part of Glenmorangie's Private Editions range, and this is where they get to use these really unique style of finishing methods to create a whiskey, and it's released once per year. So every year we have a new expression on the market. Bacalta being the 8th release in this range, and also the name translates into Scotch Gaelic, and it means baked. So we'll go through the age of this whiskey, and it is a no age statement. However, if you have missed the Milsean video, which was the video before this one, I'll leave it linked in the top corner. Go and check it out, as it's got a similar age to that. Now, it's bottled at 46%. The cask selection is where Glenmorangie really like to innovate. So it's matured initially for 10 years in these American white oak casks, or these American bourbon barrels, as you call them. It's then transferred over into these Malmsey Madeira casks. And these Malmsey Madeira casks have been sun-soaked, and it's been left there for 2.5 years. And that's where you impart all this character into this whiskey from. Now, in terms of the actual distillery, it is the Glenmorangie Distillery. They are owned by the parent company, Louis Vuitton Moet Hennessy, and they are located in the Highlands of Scotland. So, the actual price point on that bottle up there is around about £80 currently here in the UK. And it hasn't sold out yet in the shops yet. I'm still seeing it coming in and trickling itself into different shops. So there still must be quite a lot of it as it was last year's release. Now, the actual overall exclusivity, it is exclusive. It's one of their private editions. So around about, I think, 5,000 cases globally. But in terms of caramel coloring, I'll let you guys judge this one. If you guys want to do some research, I did find out on some websites they do say it does contain coloring. So on that sense, we will just go straight into nose of the whiskey. So into the nose. So to begin on the nose for the Bacalta, you are getting an essence of a little bit stronger ABV than the Milsean. But it does start with a little bit more of the sort of citrusy characters. And this is like a really ripe, sun-soaked Seville orange. You're getting all this sort of really rich vitamin C character coming through. A little bit of what reminds me even like a little candied citrus peel. And then I'm getting spices, and this is an array of sort of warming spices. You're getting cinnamon, you're getting cloves. I'm getting a juicier character behind it. It's like you've taken a red apple, or like a cooking apple, and you've poked it with these cloves all around it. You just put a bit of cinnamon on the top, you put it in the oven, you baked it for maybe just around about 5 minutes, and you take it out immediately, and you're smelling these aromas of these sweet spices combined with the juiciness of that red apple coming through. Oh, it's really good on the nose of this one. I'm getting a slight even character of toffee. Maybe, yeah, vanilla toffee. It's really great on the nose, very easygoing, but very juicy as well. Wow. I thought that higher ABV at first was going to be a bit of an issue, but it's the exact same ABV, it just feels a little bit sharper on the initial nosing. So let's get into the palate next and discover what we have on the palate. Sláinte. So into the palate for the Glenmorangie Bacalta. Texture-wise, it begins quite nice, rich. It's got its own unique, rich creaminess. As it sort of develops, I'd say this is like a medium, maybe a full texture. It's actually developed a little bit more. Little parts and residues residing all over the palate. A bit more richer, fuller in terms of texture. It then leads into a flavor profile. In this flavor profile, you have a combination of citrus. You've got citrus peels. You've got actual citrus juices. It's like you've taken a large proportion of orange juice, mixed it with a little bit of grapefruit juice, and together you're having the mix. You're getting a nice citrusy juiciness, followed up by a slight bitter citrus just on the end. And as this is going on, you've got these combination of spices, but I'm going to edge ever so slightly towards like a cinnamon roll, and it's sort of drizzled over the top with a slight bit of maple syrup, adding this completely different character to it. It then follows up from that one, and you're getting almost like you've taken stewed fruits, apricots, apples. These are more or less on the lines of summer fruits, but interesting enough, you've got something like a nectarine in the mix, not peach. And these things have just been stewing together, and you're just taking a bite out of it, provided you've taken the seeds out before you bake these things, because that would be a very big disaster. I've done that once, broken a tooth, never wanting to do that again. But it's kind of followed up by a little bit of like a sweeter, sort of almost like a shortbread character. Or maybe even sugar. I was thinking more or less on the lines of like sugar water drizzled over bread. And and sort of like a flatbread at that too. So something a bit different in terms of the character on the palate. But that's about it for the palate. I'm going to have another sip and we'll judge the finish. So, into the finish. So now into the finish for the Glenmorangie Bacalta. Overall, finish-wise, the actual Bacalta has I'd say like a medium, maybe short medium finish. I was expecting it to hang around a little bit longer than it did, and then it just finished a bit too quickly. But flavor profile-wise, you get these sun-dried sultanas, quite juicy and succulent. It's combined together with, it's almost like an orange that's been left open, you know, like you're making like a fruit salad, but you've taken the oranges away and you sort of drizzled it or sort of just poured over some really thick honey over the top, and you're getting this character sweetness and citrus really married together very well. And again, I'm getting sort of like that sort of sweet bread. I'm going to say shortbread. It reminds me of those shortbread biscuits you can get here in the UK, and that's sort of that essence you get about it. And then as soon as you're looking for more, it's completely finished. It's gone, which a little disappointment on my side. But I'm going to get to my rating, and I'll give you guys my opinion on the Bacalta. So overall, I'm going to go. Mr. Bananas, do you mind helping me out? We're going to give it 86 out of 100. The reason behind that, I was expecting a lot more for the Bacalta. I actually like the flavor profile on the nose and the palate. The letdown for me on this whiskey was the finish. I just didn't feel it encapsulated the same qualities that were there on the previous assessment criterias. Overall, for a Madeira cask, being Mamsley Madeira, something you don't see very often in the whiskey industry, it was actually a really nice, interesting expression. But for £80, again, I've got to put myself in that position. For the flavor profile, would I go and buy that? Personally, no. And I'm kind of grateful I got a sample of it. So personally, I'd say it wouldn't be one I'd be going and picking up anytime soon. But that doesn't go to way to say that if you guys like the flavor profiles of more of that sort of citrus, that baked characters, the spices and the mouth-warming spices, those sort of characters, if you like that in this whiskey, then by all means go for it. I just didn't feel it offered so much complexity that I personally like in my Glenmorangie. So that's my thoughts on the Glenmorangie Bacalta. Let me know your thoughts on it if you've tried it down below in the comment section. But on that note, I'm going to wrap the video at that. If you have enjoyed, drop it a thumbs up. Be sure to hit the subscribe button, as both of those help greatly. And I'll leave some other videos on the screen for Glenmorangie products. This has been me, JasonWhiskyWise, Mr. Bananas, and we'll catch you all for the next video. Sláinte.